Oh, goodness. All right. Hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. All right. Double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Hey, shalom to you, Akim, pushing the work of truth and sincerity, bringing forth the testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai. That testimony is the spirit of prophecy. All right. Prophecy meaning to say before. All right. And coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, Lord willing. This is edifying. All right. And today I came up with a title for a lesson. All right. And it came from listening to this Asian woman. I think she's a Moabite. All right. And she mentioned this term in industrialized apocalypse, you know, and it's just, something that we always touch on. Esau, his way of life has only brought, a danger and death to the world, you know, and especially what he's bringing up the pipeline, as we know about, the beast system. All right, the image of the beast, the mark of the beast. All right, is only going to bring about more chaos, right? More corruption, more evil, more wickedness to the world. All right, and you know, and he has to be stopped. He has to be stopped. Because if he's not, of course, as the scriptures say in Matthew, all right, this man will destroy the world as we know it. All right, and we also know that the Spirit of the Lord the Lord has put the Spirit on him. All right, to do what he's doing. All right, the Lord had created Esau, and he's created him to do certain works in the earth, and we understand this. All right. So as the scriptures say, what it says, if the time wasn't cut short, right here, Matthew 24 and 22, it says, except those days, hopefully, Lord willing, y'all can hear me. Except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake. All right, those days shall be shortened. All right, so the Lord is shortening the days for his chosen. All right, because if he doesn't, all right, Esau he would destroy the world. All right, and he's been doing that through his industrialization, of the world. All right, and that's a part of his philosophy. All right, industrialization, and we're gonna get into it. I asked Chat GPT, Slack it. All right, explain a industrialized apocalypse. Okay. So it says an industrialized apocalypse refers to a catastrophic collapse of civilization driven by the very system of industrialization that once supported human progress. You see, so it did, um, kind of push human progress in a sense. You had trains, all right, the railroads, which that's another form of delivery system of transportation. Vehicles and printing press and all of that stuff, but he used it for evil. All right, he used all those things for evil. All right, to forward his evil establishment. Okay, all right, and in the world, and people are wondering and scratching their head at why the world is such a bad place. Why is the world so messed up? Well, it's because Esau has industrialized it, but he has his main principle behind it is profit. All right, and he profits even in the wake of people being destroyed, isolated, land being destroyed, so on and so forth. We're kind of going Chat GPT is kind of gonna go deeper into it. All right, so it says it's grim scenario where the tools of mass production, energy exploitation, and technological advancement become the agents of destruction. And this is where we at. He's creating data centers that's destroying communities, and he's been doing this for the longest. Okay, he's been doing this for the longest. All right, all right. So Salaki. All right. So also, I want to mention too is that um, well, I don't know why it escapes me right now, but Lord willing, to come back to me. I'm sure it will through the Spirit. All right, but just reading more into it, it says, in technological advancement become the agents of destruction, either suddenly or through slow degradation, and that's been the last few hundred years. That's what it's been, a slow degradation. But now they're speeding it up with this whole beast system. Okay, and that's why the Lord has to shorten the days. It says, here's how it could unfold across different dimensions. Environmental breakdown. Industrial society is heavily reliant on fossil fuels, mass deforestation, mining, and chemical production. Right? In a apocalyptic scenario, this leads to climate collapse. Right? And they're promoting what? Sea change. Right? Decarbonization, where they come in with the solution, and ultimately it's only to hinder people's autonomy on Earth for them to be able to do, or live freely. All right. Now he wants to play as God and control every aspect of life. Okay. So this dude is playing the hero and the villain at the very same time, and it's really disgusting, and it's enraging, and really, man, the last month, man, I just been, I'm sure brothers have been too, and I'm not just saying it's me, but just disgusted at Esau. I'm just disgusted. All right, I'm really disgusted. I'm at the point of being worn out, and it's just like, at the point of like, whatever, man. It's just gonna be what it's gonna be until it's over. You know, and that's kind of how I'm looking at the situation. It's just like, the Lord has set him up, Revelation 6:4, to what? To take peace from the earth. All right, and that's what he's doing. He's a perfect devil. He's bringing death and destruction, and that's what this enterprise, or this empire is all about. It's a death culture. All right, and this is the kingdom of death upon earth. All right, and we know the scriptures talk about the kingdom of death. Let me see if I can find it really quick. That the Lord, that there ain't no kingdom of death upon earth, and that's why the Lord is going to cut this place short. Slack. Let's see if I can find it here. All right. Let's see here. Wisdom of Solomon 1:14. Here, let's do this. Online. Yep, because that's all Esau has been doing, man. All right. His greatest, the greatest thing he's ever, brought to the world was what? Lies, because he's very good at it. Death and destruction, man. All right. Deception and death. Okay. And destruction. Okay. So Wisdom of Solomon 1:14, for he created all things that they might have their being. So the Lord created all things that they have their being, so that they live out. All right. And live. Okay. But this devil, what? He's in complete opposite of the Most High. He's set an array against the Most High. All right. How about Shemel Shai? His laws, as the scriptures say, his tongue speak against. He speak against the heavens. His tongue walketh through the earth. All right. And this devil is now setting himself up as a god. All right. All right. Through his technology. Okay, and this Psalms 2. Why did the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? Because ultimately, is all this technology that he has is only going to lead him to one place. All right, and we know what that is. It says, "In the generations of the world were healthful." You see, so this is the point of the Lord creating the earth so that it may flourish. All right, it says, "And there is no poison of destruction in them." You see, but what did Esau do? All right, he made petroleum. All right, he took over the health industries, the agriculture industries, right, and gave you genetically modified organisms. All right, he gave you plastics, which they're not biodegradable. All right, they don't naturally wither away, and you don't have to worry about it staining the environment. All right, this devil has came along and single-handedly uh, brought about devices to destroy the earth. All right, which is his ideals. You know, his eureka moments only sped up the world's course to destruction. Okay, it says, "And there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon earth." And that's what Esau's. That's what he's created, the kingdom of death upon earth. All right, but the scriptures is telling you, right? It says, "For righteousness is immortal," right? And that's why he will not be able to escape from the judgments, because righteousness is immortal. All right. So he can do as much wickedness as he can tilt the scale on the side of wickedness as much as he possibly can, but righteousness is immortal. You can't phase out righteousness. Okay, and we know that he's made it a point. And the scriptures saying that he don't get no rest until he accomplished some evil in the earth. Roughly paraphrase it. Right? It says, "But ungodly men with their works and words call it to them." All right. "For when they thought to have it in for for when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught." You see, and made a covenant with it. All right, because they are worthy to take part with it. All right. Okay, so that's why he's going to be destroyed. Okay, so let's go back. Industrial apocalypse. Okay, because oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. You know, uh, Esau has to generate crises even to enter into his new world order, because it's all about justifying the means. All right, bringing a justification, and a good enough justification, right? To where that he can be able to deceive the minds to accept, all right, what he's presenting, all right, and what he's presenting is only death. Okay, so it says here mass extinction. Now we heard them on TED Talks, Bill Gates or Gil Bates. All right, we heard them talking about depopulation. Even Kamala Harris, she slipped up and said, you know, depopulating the world. So, and not only that, but according to their Georgia Guidestones, they want to maintain the world uh, under 500 million people. And what is that going to take? Well, Gil Bates explained that in that TED talk. More vaccinations. All right, more of that. Okay, which they have successfully at a certain rate been able to do. Okay, all right. So mass extinction. Okay, ecosystems die out due to pollution, habitat loss, and poison water and air. So you think these big, all right, these I just call them big biz for lack of better words. These people who in Edomites who are into the industrialization. You think they care for the environment? Hell no. They care more about profit. And this is what's wrong. All right, because it's a very primitive way to live life. He's essentially sold his soul for financial gain, with destroying life, all right, and creation all at the same time, while he reaps this carnal, this vain gain from it. All right. Okay, let me see. Let me make sure my sound is good. Hopefully it is, man. Because I already know how Esau is. But all right, so he enjoys this terribleness, as the scriptures say. You know, But moving on, it says ecosystems die out due to pollution, habitat loss, and poisoned water, air, and that's what we're dealing with right now. This ain't something we making up. This is actually happening right now. You know, there's levels of high levels of chemicals in the water and in the air. All right, and and that's what people are dealing with. People are struggling. People are crying out, mainly the Israelites, because everybody's just going on to get along. I mean, you do have people that do understand what's at stake, and they are crying out against the powers that be, you know, because they realize that they're being hoodwinked, all right, by the few, all right, food system failure. Now, I had a whole thing on this, all right, and you know, and this is just a recipe for an apocalypse, and that's what Esau has been following. He's been establishing a recipe for bringing chaos to the world and bringing unimaginable, how can I say it, perplexity to the world. All right, where people will not know what to do. All right, because he knows that really there are factions fighting against his enterprise, but he's going to be able to enact his enterprise through what? Through chaos, through crisis. All right. So here I just typed in, fires and livestock deaths within the last 4 years or 5 years, right? And it says between 2020 and 2024, barn fires resulted in the deaths of over 8.3 million farm animals, with significant incidents occurring in the upper Midwest and Northeast regions of the U.S. The highest annual death toll was reported in 2024. That was just last year, with more than 1.5 animals perishing, 1.5 million animals perishing, primarily due to large scale fires at commercial poultry operations. And now they give articles and stuff like that. But over the last 5 years, all right, we've noticed, and it's been pretty much eye-browsing events where the fires are happening, and livestock have been being pretty much unalived and taken out, all right, one after another. And it's just like, wow, that's a common reoccurring event. I wonder what they're doing that for. All right, generated famine. But the scriptures say he was going to do that in Revelations, the 6th chapter. He was going to bring death. All right, he's going to take away peace. He's going to bring about famine. Okay, and Esau refers to it as the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Okay, and you better believe, they're doing what needs to be done according to their agenda. But all in all, the Lord put it on their spirit. So it is vexing. It may seem unfair, but it's the Lord's will. And that's why the scriptures talk about understanding the will of the Lord in Ephesians, the 5th chapter. Okay, the 15th verse on down. Be therefore be circumspect. All right. And the times call for us to be circumspect, meaning to watch, right, and not be too caught up in life, where all this vain shit is happening, You trying to make a life for yourself in this life, which there ain't no life, there ain't no life in this life. Okay. We've been duped. We've been swindled. So back here in chat GPT, environmental breakdown due to industrial or industrialized apocalypse. All right. Or in other words, generated crises from the elite. It says food system failure, industrial agriculture collapse. All right, collapse is due to soil exhaustion, pesticide resistance, and lack of pollinators. Right, that ain't. They had to accelerate it. All right, so they was just all out burning down farms. All right, and they were paying farmers to get rid of their livestock. Right, and I remember seeing a few videos on that, man. So Esau is definitely working, and he's been working while Jake has been asleep at the wheel. All right, while it was, the time was afforded you, the grace was afforded you to, essentially get your mind right. All right, you was playing around. Okay, you weren't preparing yourself, and by the time these things hit you, you're not going to be ready because you're still comfortable and complacent with the benefits that you received in society. Okay, thinking that thinking of well, I'll say it like this: you had a normality bias, was the elders came out with years ago. All right, normacy bias. All right. So it says, example, crops fail worldwide as weather becomes unpredictable and heat waves destroy harvest. Now, you know, it's been revealed that they've been able to manipulate the weather. All right, through certain systems that they set up. Again, industrialized apocalypse. Okay, it says food becomes a weapon hoarded by powerful states or corporations. You see, in the main agriculture and industries are owned by what, the corporations now. Now they got it to where the corporations can buy up small businesses, all right, and don't change the names, all right, but can present it to the people like, these companies or these small businesses are still family owned, and they bought up all the rights, all right, and they can present themselves like family owned, and you think that you're getting family owned and organic products, and really the state is behind it, the corporations are behind it, swindling you again. All right, and so you eating a meat pack, and you think and it says impossible meat or whatever the case may be, and you really eating genetically modified organisms. All right, 3D printed meat. All right, thinking you a vegan and thinking you're not, you know what I'm saying? So that's what's actually going on. All right, because they're taking advantage of these people. All right, technological backlash. Advanced technology can spiral out of control or be weaponized, and that's what's about to happen. You're going to see technology being weaponized. All right, you're seeing the data breaches and all of those things happen. It's happening because what they have an ultimate or agenda. All right, or an ulterior agenda. All right, outside of what they're presenting to the people. Right, so AI collapse, and they've been talking about AI going crazy and all this other stuff. We know that's not true. It says misaligned artificial intelligence or automated systems make catastrophic decisions. And we already knowing that they already set the AI to run parts of the government. Doge was an example. Cyber warfare, nation states or rogue groups shut down infrastructure, power grids, banks, water systems, leading to chaos. So when you look at the war right now, all right, they just started a war with Iran. This is a justification. The power grid shutoffs and banks and water systems leading to chaos. There could be a response from what? From Iran, which is, they could be. It's a theater war. All right, we could be in a theater war right now. Okay, they bombing bases that they already know this has pretty much been depleted of the weapons, or they relocated the weapons and all. But who cares, man? All you should know that it's a possibility, and through the spirit, you should be able to discern. When you're dealing with Esau, Edom, you're dealing with the devil, and it's the reason why he's called the devil. All right, because devil meaning deceiver. Okay, and if you don't know that, I don't know what the hell to tell you. Okay, it says here autonomous weapon drones, killer robots, which they had. You got DARPA, all right. You got other things that they set up. Okay, it says or nuclear systems are triggered with no human oversight. Okay, example, an AI governing supply chains miscalculates and shuts down all major ports, causing global trade to stop within days. Cities are starving, and this is what we're on the brink of, right? If you thought it was just a joke, all right, all of these things that you've been seeing in the news, alternative news and stuff like that, right, is playing right in the elite's hands. All right, and in order for them to start this new world order, they need crises. They need a crisis. You see, and they need the right crises. All right. And so now it's time to be locked in and loaded. All right. In the spirit, man. All right. And to leave this fucking world behind, man. Okay. All right. While you stuck on this world, Esau's about to drop a bomb on you, man. All right. And I mean that figuratively. Okay. All right. And it's possibly physically as well. All right. But Salak, it says biological disaster. All right. We already dealt with a pandemic, right? So industrial biotech and medical industries can cause an apocalypse through what? Lab engineered pandemics. We just dealt with that in 2020. Accidental, because they always say it's fucking accidental. It's Salak, because I do get mad. You got to understand it is the will of the Lord, but be angry and sin not. I'm not going to question the Lord on his chess moves. It's just like I think about Jeremiah 49. Shall that all together go unpunished? He's still going to be punished for the shit he's doing. All right. It says accidental, or that's just the Lord bringing an occasion against him, setting him up. In other words, it says accidental or intentional release of super viruses, super V words, or antibiotic resistant bacteria. All right. So you ain't going to have a cure for certain things. Okay. That's what's coming, man. And it's going to come on a larger scale. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been telling y'all about. This is what we've been telling y'all to look out for. This is what we've been telling y'all to pray and get yourself geared up and ready for, because these are the things that's going to be taken over. Right? And then I'm going to get some precepts, and then, the point is pretty much been made. All right. Bioterrorism, industrial knowledge misused by groups to unleash deadly pathogens. Overpopulation meets scarcity, right? That's the justification for the food shortages and supply. We know the supply chain has been cut, right? Due to all this mess with people not being paid enough at the where they ship and receive at the docks. All right. All type of things, man, bringing about confusion and stuff. So it says industrial medicine extends life. And this ain't medical information. This is just spiritual speculation. All right. I guess you could say, for lack of better words, it says extends life without matching food or housing supply. This is example, a genetically modified virus, V word. I already said it escapes a high level lab and mutates faster than any V seen, all right, can be produced, leading to societal collapse. And this is what we're at the brink of, because they need to bring in their ultimate system, the NWO. Energy system collapse. Industrial civilization depends on massive energy inputs, and it's not by coincidence that America, the infrastructure for how energy is produced is the most outdated in the world. That's not by coincidence. That's not by accident. Okay, that's not by accident. This is grid failure, a global EMP cyber attack, or cascading blackout plunges society into darkness. And it makes sense that they would, kind of start up a war, and then, the retaliation could be of this caliber. Okay. This is nuclear meltdown, industrial power plants fail due to lack of maintenance, sabotage, or disasters causing mass radiation leaks. You get it, right? I hope you see it. All right, and all of these are definitely uh things or things that's basically you know persistent from the elites and what they're pushing. All right, economic and political implosion and industrialized world is tightly interconnected, meaning one failure cascades globally. Right, and we know that's about to happen. All right, especially with the dollar. It's a hyperinflation or economic collapse, debt laden, resource dependent economies implode. And who's gonna affect the most? Babylon, here in America. Automation, unemployment, and that's been a big thing in the news this last year. I mean, this year alone. All right, and they've been cutting federal employees like nothing. All right, they've been grading them like cheese. Okay, it says jobs vanish while wealth concentrates, meaning the richer get rich and the poor get poor, leading to revolt. Yeah, because the people are it's going to be sedition among these regular people against who? The authorities. And we already seen it in in isolated events. You had that guy take out the CEO of an insurance company. Then you just recently had a guy who dressed up like a cop in Minnesota who took out a husband and wife who was politicians. That's sedition. Okay, but that's isolated events. All right, just imagine when people start, reading up on these, the politicians and all of those people who supposed to be looking out for them, and they're selling out to the technocrats, or they're selling out to corporations. All right. So look, man, that's why the scripture says it's going to be the worst times ever. All right. It says totalitarian regime governments use surveillance, militarized police and propaganda to hold on to power. And basically that's what we're coming into. You see, because they know even, people that's with the current regime, they know something is up, something ain't right. Because that guy TR Ump, all right, he sold out to the technocrats, man. He sold out to the elite, okay, but he's supposed to have been cleaning out the swamp, all right, dude, and they're blatant liars, and the people are gonna be pissed off, and they're gonna be enraged because these people that are supposed to be for them, and that they voted for, is supposed to be for them, sold them out. Example, it says as the rich flee to fortified smart cities, that's what's going to happen. All right, billions are left behind in slums, forming militias and rebel states, and this is perfect. This is perfect. All right, because the rich, the super rich, they're creating smart cities for themselves, and guess what they're going to do? All your municipalities, they're going to fail, and the scriptures tell you that. All right, that the powers of heaven shall be shaken, or some to the extent of that. I think it's two scriptures I'm thinking about. All right, but I can't think of them now. I can only paraphrase them. It says billions are left behind in slums, forming militias and rebel states. They show you in movies. They show you and they telling you what are the elites talking about the last few years? Bunkers, going into bunkers. All right, 15-minute cities where there's going to be heavily guarded. All right, okay. It says waste and toxin saturation. A wormwood. Scriptures talk about the wormwood and what the water's being poisoned. All right. It says a slow burn apocalypse where pollution becomes unimaginable. It says toxic oceans. All right, plastics, oil spills, and this is what Esau has been already doing. He's been already doing this. So we're talking about end time scenarios, but they've been already doing this. They've been already doing this, right? And there ain't supposed to be a kingdom of death upon earth, but there is one. That's Esau's world. That's why he's the end of the world, right? And at this point, you Israelites, like the elders been saying, man, ain't no way you can't see Esau. The so-called white man ain't Esau. All right. Ain't no way you can't see it. All right. I said that wrong. The so-called white man is Esau. There's no way you cannot see it. All right. I said it like that. Esau, Edom is the so-called white man, and there ain't no way you cannot see it. All right. He is the devil. Okay. And very soon you're going to be woken from that imaginative, illusion state. All right. Okay. Where you're blind, you're completely blind. Right. So toxic oceans, air pollutions, microplastic saturation. Okay. They're already doing it. They're already doing it. Example by 2100, which, yeah, right. All right. Most people are infertile from endocrine disruption, if I'm saying it right, disruption, chemicals, global birth rates, collapse. The end not with a bang, but a fading whimper. Psychological and cultural collapse. In a hyper-industrial world gone wrong, the mind is also a battlefield. Yep. So people are going to be losing their minds. That's what the scriptures talk about with perplexity. All right. I think that's in Luke, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's in Luke, I think. Let me finish this out. It says mass despair, constant surveillance, meaningless work, and environmental doom cause widespread mental illness and suicide. This is what they're banking on. This is the remedy for their new world order. Cultural decay, art, religion, and they're doing it. They're sabotaging all of these things for on purpose. See, art, religion, and traditional art and tradition, are replaced by algorithmic entertainment, numbing people to the coming in. And people are being numb right now. And scrolling is a drug. Scrolling is a drug. I'm telling you, I know. You brothers know. That shit is a drug because you find yourself scrolling. Right? The Lord took my phone from me for like 3 months and couldn't get it back. I understand why, especially if you're the Lord's elect, man. Look, man, just brace yourself. You're going to lose comfortability. It's okay. It's fucking okay. Once you weigh in what you're fighting against and what you need to prepare yourself for, you'll understand. And it'll be an easy ride. All right. It says digital isolation. People plug into virtual reality and abandon physical reality altogether. And that's what they've been doing. They've been prepping you for like a few years, and people still stuck, right, in digital isolation. People, especially the children. Entire populations live in VR while the real world crumbles. No one comes to fix the grid, the farms, or the sick. Yeah, and you're gonna have to be able to take care of yourself. You're gonna have to have the, uh, the generators and the things like that. You know, in some cases, yes, you definitely gonna need them. Whole populations um, what's the word for it? Relocated. All right. You got a taste of it. What happened with the train derailment in Ohio, I believe, or was it Iowa? Okay, one of the two. A few years back, they made a movie on it. You're talking about massive repopulation of a whole, and or probably even cities, man. Who knows? Okay, to internment camps or you know what have you. All right, they definitely got the digital ID thing set up, so you should know where Esau and how close we are. You should feel it. Conclusion: an industrialized apocalypse isn't about regression to the Stone Age. It's the death by progress. The very systems that enabled our global civilization become brittle, unsustainable, and hostile to human life. This is the condition that Esau's creating, and the Lord is allowing him to do it. And within that, you got the hour of temptation, you got Jacob's trouble, you got the MOTB, the mark of the beast, all right? And the image of the beast is what's creating all this shit, okay? Whether it's through climate chaos, rogue AI, economic implosion, or biological disaster. And the scriptures talk about confusion. I think it said confusion in all places. Is this apocalypse is not a single event; it's a chain reaction of our own making, and that's basically what's about to happen. That's why it's going to be the worst place ever. All right, that's why it's going to be the worst place ever. But this is what the Lord got in store for them. Revelations 11 and 18, and the nations were angry. Why they angry? Because they dealing with Esau, taking on Esau's ways, and finding themselves to be in a trap. All right. And thy wrath has come in the time of the dead, which is the heathen. Okay. The time of the dead is the heathen, that they should be judged. Okay. All right. Because this is all ultimately leading to judgment as well. And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets. And guess what? The scripture said a third part shall be brought through the fire. And that fire is the affliction that the world is going to have to endure. It says, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name. That's right, because it is about the name. All right, we got the name now. We ain't gonna receive it in the kingdom. All right, okay, we gotta have it now. Otherwise, how the hell else we gonna be saved? All right, it's salvation only through one name. Right, Acts 4 and 12. Okay, it says same. It says small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Right. So guess what? Esau's going to be destroyed because of this. Isaiah 24 and 3. It says the land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled. For the Lord Yahweh hath spoken his word, this word, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people, meaning the proud, arrogant people of the earth do languish. Right. So great miseries to them that dwell in the latter times. That's 2 Ezra 8 and 50. Right? It says the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So who's inhabiting the earth? Who's defiling it? The industrialists, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. It's the white man, brother. All right. Slaki. All right. Going back, it says the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, or ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So what do you think this whole um, their whole new world order is about? What do you think they've been about? They put on Christianity as a front. Okay, they put on it as a front for the longest, and now they're about to truly reveal who they are. Right? Okay. It says, therefore, that hath the curse devoured the earth. That's why this place is all messed up. Because they said to hell with the laws of the Bible. They said to hell with the land Sabbath. They said to hell with the poor. All right. They said to hell with morality and virtue. Right. And they widespread wickedness. It says, and they that dwell therein are desolate. So these people are through. All right. They don't have no truth. Right. They don't have no peace. It says, therefore, the inhabitants of the earth are burned and few men left. All right. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry hearted do sigh. The scriptures tell you what's going to happen in our time. The scriptures tell you. All right. Because this is what matters. All right. Revelation 6:4. And there went out a horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. All right. That's Esau. Esau is that red horse. All right. Horse represents his power. Power. All right. Red represents who he is. And it's dealing with Edom, Adawam, which means red. All right. And power was given to him. Why? Because he received power from the Lord. All right. Psalm 17, the wicked, which is thy sword, that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Right. And that's what they've been doing. These industrialists, these Edomites, and that they should kill one another. They are the one that's been warring. There's been world wars, and who have been at the front lines have been Edomites, leading the charge. The generals, all Edomites, all right, who've been making war against each other, killing millions upon millions, hundreds of millions, due to these world wars. And then you got all these proxies and all these side wars and all this stuff that's been happening over time within the last few hundred years. Somebody, elder, just came out with how long America. He spoke on how long America been established, and ever since they've been established, it's been war. There's been no end in sight. It says, and there was given unto him a great sword, right? And that sword, it's the same sword that Isaac blessed Esau with. Okay, it's the same sword Isaac blessed Esau with. Okay, don't believe me? All right, this is Hebrews. He said he'd like to hear a song. Here it go. No, I said it wrong, but Hebrews 11:20, it says, by faith Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. What was Esau's blessing? Isaac blessed him with the sword. All right, in the very end times, that's what he's using. Okay. And when he had opened Revelation 6:5, and when he had opened the third seal, I saw what I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld a black horse, right? Slavery. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil in the wine, because the truth remained. The truth has to go out. Scriptures talk about the truth. All right, the gospel going to the uttermost parts of the world, which we're in the uttermost part in the world right now. Is when you deal with that uttermost, is dealing with the end. All right, and this is the end. Okay, America. It says, when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. That's the grave. That's just death. Okay. It's just, the Bible has a way of, kind of expressing things through symbology. All right. It says, and power was given unto him, or unto them, over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And that's what we're coming to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Because nobody's going to be able to stop this beast system. Only the Lord. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Back in Isaiah 24:8, the mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. And right, things are gonna get so bad. All right. It says the city of confusion. Let me get this real quick before I forget. Slack it. All right. It says the city of confusion. The city of confusion is broken down. All right. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. Right. Everything is going to be shut down. Everything is going to be shut up. All right. Just like in 2020 during the pandemic, everything was shut up, and shut down. Right. It's going to be times. It's going to be, I'll say 10 times as worse, or twice as worse. Curfews, right? People being shot down, right? If you outside of the curfew, especially you niggas, man. Especially you niggas, man. Esau's tired of you, man. All right. It says that there is a crying for wine in the streets, meaning the truth, right? All joy is darkened, and the mirth of the land is gone. This is what the Lord is going to allow to happen to this place. Because miserables are the cities that receive thy sons, as the scripture say in Baruch, the 4th chapter, I believe the 31st verse. And the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. That's what's going to happen. Ain't no man going to be able to enter into cities. It's going to be bad. It's going to be famine. People skirmishing and fighting for food. Friends turning on each other. The love of many shall wax cold. People going psycho on each other. All right. This is what's all set up to come. Because the scriptures say what? There's going to be a time like none other. Oops. Okay. And this is what we definitely going to need help in this time. Okay. Because Esau is doing this, what? Ultimately, because so he can ultimately by force take the blessing away from the children of Israel and establish his version of the kingdom of heaven on earth, which is the kingdom of death on earth. It's not the kingdom of heaven. Daniel 12:1, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Why? Because you're going to have this thing happen on a global scale. And Esau is going to present that chip. He's going to present the MLTB for you to escape it. All right. Okay. But the elect, we're going to escape through faith, and the just shall live by faith. We're going to have faith in Yahweh Shai. Okay. And believe me, there's got a lot of people going to turn coat. A lot of people going to believe, and you ain't going to have no choice but to believe in the Lord in that time. But there's going to be a lot of people who turn coat and run to Esau for help. And it's just how the Lord got it set up. It says, and at that time, thy people shall be delivered. And thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book, right? The Lamb's book of life, right? Those that are the elect, in other words, okay? Because you're predetermined for salvation. You're predestined for salvation. Okay. Let's see what else. Revelations 3 and 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So this is a global thing. Again, you know, you ain't got to worry about which Edomite is going to deploy the RFID chip, the MOTB, all of them are. All right. Because they're all lining up for this whole system to be in place. Right. And that's for that guy, Chief Ephraim. Okay. Oh, Chief Seagrams, because the nigga drunk. Anyway, this is Job 5 and 12. It says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their enterprise, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Ultimately, it's going to be cut. All right. The scriptures say in Job 20, when he go to fill his belly. All right. And the Lord's going to put this devil in straits, and we're going to see it. Okay. We're going to see it. And he's going to act in haste. He's going to act irrational and watch. Okay. Right now, he thinks he has control with the theater wars. He's going to bring in the next agenda upon the next agenda. But the Lord is going to throw a monkey wrench in his game. All right. He's going to throw a monkey wrench in his game. All right. So he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. So in other words, they're going to fall on their face. They're not going to be able to establish, their enterprise through their counsel. All right. It says they meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. Because believe it or not, they planned all of this. They planned all of this, And it's not like they ain't been doing it already. They've been doing this thing. So I'm going to have to cut it right here. Lord willing, this was edifying. Until next time, I'll say Shalom. Give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahshua, Bashem Kakadash, double honors to the apostles. Notice that great millstone, Shalom to you, Akim, who pushing the work in truth and in sincerity. All right, bringing about prophecy. Shalom.